already? Awesome. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Cultural Coast on this chilly Sarasota morning, huh? We're not really used to this, are we? Yeah. I'm remembering a few Sundays ago, I looked out and I said, gosh, you guys are all in dark colors. I'm not used to seeing you all in dark colors. And now that I'm standing up here looking, all our coats, it's unusual. Some of us are all masked up and hooded, and we don't know who it is. Well, yeah, gosh. Well, as I said, welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Cultural Coast. I'm Theresa, and today we are here to find out who you are. I'm not going to tell you like I normally do. We're here to find out who you are. This year's all about living out loud, and this month is about specifically cultivating authenticity. So, to cultivate is the idea of toiling, right? Toiling the soil, getting it ready, preparing, right? Loosening, yeah. And we do that in gardening to grow crops, right? So I know our garden folks know this very well, right? Yeah, to cultivate the ground. It also means cultivate to acquire or develop skills, attitudes, to cultivate a quality. And so that's what we do inside, right? That's what we do in the inside landscape. So we're going to be looking at that and how that applies to authenticity today, because every single one of us was born real, born genuine, born that genuine, authentic, individualized expression, the soul, right? Every one of us was born that way, and somehow we got a little covered up, somehow. So, let's begin in consciousness. Planting seeds anew, planting new seeds in that fertile soil that always says yes. Because here's what I know, that there's only one source, one substance, one power, one presence, one creator, one creative impulse. That is source. And it is substance of all life. Everything we see around us, everything came from that infinite, invisible into form. And that means me too. And that means everyone here, everyone at home, everyone everywhere. This is the truth of our being. And I believe, in fact, I know that love is that impulse. Love is the impulse for life coming into form. Love and curiosity. For spirit to know itself divinely as Theresa, as each one of us. To experience and to express. So right here, right now in this fertile soil, I dig up. I toil. And I remove anything and everything that gets in the way of that freedom to express authentically. Every doubt, every fear, every erroneous thought, every belief that I took on from parents, teachers, whomever, society, I let that go. So now, I am that clear avenue, that clear portal, that clear channel for spirit to show itself, to experience itself divinely, uniquely, authentically as me. I know this truth for myself, and I know it for each one of us. What a glorious, glorious thing. I am eternally grateful for this truth, and I am eternally grateful for the ability to live life freely, fully, dynamically as who I came here to be. And so it is. Yeah, awesome. That's good work when we do that work, you know? That's powerful work right there. Good work. Yeah. Well, we have a special treat, even beyond what normally we have when Emily joins us. Because this morning she's Emily Frost. Help me welcome our newlywed Emily Frost. And here, you can stop and take this. This is from us to you and Matthew. I love you too. I had the privilege of officiating their wedding weekend before last, Saturday before yesterday. And it was beautiful. And if you don't get our emails, you need to get our emails just so you can see her in her wedding dress. Absolutely beautiful. And her blue gown after the wedding. Absolutely beautiful.
Costume changes.
Yes, it was a stunning wedding. Here you go, Emily Frost.
Thank you. Did you want me to open this now? No, later.
You can open it
Later. Great. Okay. Thank you so much, though.
But I would like you to open it while you're here.
Okay. I will.
Like in between songs or something.
In between songs.
Yes.
Okay. Great. So today is about knowing yourself, and I was trying to think about the songs I've written, and I'm like, I don't have one song about knowing myself, because that's not what I write about. I wish that I knew myself. I'm coming into that. So today's going to be a lot of covers, which is also really fun. So this is called The Way I Am by Ingrid Michaelson, one of my favorite songs to sing, because it's one thing to know yourself, and it's another thing to meet someone who's going to take you exactly as you are and doesn't want to change you. That's like a whole other thing. And I found that. All right. If you were falling, then I would catch you. You need a light. Well, I'll find a match, 'cause I love the way you say good morning, and you take me the way I am. If you are chilly, here, take my sweater. Your head is aching. Well, I'll make it better, 'cause I love the way you call me baby, and you take me the way I am. I'd buy you Rogaine when you start losing all your hair. So on patches, yeah, to all you tear, 'cause I love you more than I could promise, and you take me the way I am. If you were falling, well, I would catch you. You need a light. Well, I'll find a match, 'cause I love you more than I could promise, and you take me the way I am. Yes, I love you more than I could promise, and you take me the way I am. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Emily. It's beautiful. My name is Jim Grove. I'm a licensed spiritual practitioner here at the center, and I have this morning's reading to give you. And I must say that as I was preparing for this reading and trying to make it complementary to what Reverend Theresa would be talking about today, I went through several iterations of it as I was looking through multiple books and readings. And of course, we know that usually what we're looking for is looking for us. And it just so happens it was right in front of my face all the time. It actually is the reading for today, March 19th, in this wonderful book called 365 Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes. And it's called Personality. So I'm going to share that with you now. Personality is the use or misuse we make of a unique something back of us that is expressing through us. Within each of us, there must be a divine pattern of individualization that we but dimly perceive and even more inaccurately interpret. Personality has a possibility far beyond anything that is merely physiological or psychological, for it has the possibility not of becoming a mask to hide reality, but rather an open countenance through which reality becomes expressed. We have many personalities if we understand that each is but some reflected form of that behind it, which is greater and which may express warmth and color and love, unity and peace, joy and happiness. We should learn to sense this greater self, for it is what the Bible means when it speaks of Christ in us. There is a pattern of God behind our personality, seeking unique expression through it. And to this we should surrender everything we are, for this surrender will not lead us away from reality. It is not an escape, but a revelation and an instrumentation of something greater than we appear to be. Today I live in the knowledge that there is a presence hidden within me that is both the reality of my true being and the presence of God. I consciously unite my personal self and all of its actions with this overdwelling and indwelling reality. I know that the vitality of the living spirit flows through my personality, invigorating it. I know that all the warmth and color and beauty this is pouring through it. All its impulsions and actions flow from the presence of God in me as what I am, and reveal to me the same exalted divinity manifesting itself through all the faces of humanity. And so it is.
That's so cool. All right. This is a song called Who You Are by this artist named Jessie J. I think she's from London, and I think she came out like 10 years ago maybe, but I love this song. Okay. Stare at my reflection in the mirror. Why am I doing this to myself? Losing my mind on a tiny error. I nearly left the real me on the shelf. No, 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 don't lose who you are in the blur of the stars. Seeing is deceiving, dreaming is believing. It's okay not to be okay. Sometimes it's hard to follow your heart. Tears don't mean you're losing, everybody's bruising. Just be true to who you are. Who you are, who you are, who you are. Who you are, who you are. Who you are, who you are, who you are. Who you are, who you are. Brushing my hair, do I look perfect? I forgot what to do to fit the mold, yeah. lose everything inside me. Screams, no, 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 no. Don't lose who you are in the blur of the stars. Tears don't mean you're losing, everybody's bruising. Just be true to who you are, who you are, who you are, who you are. Who you are, who you are. Who you are, who you are, who you are. Yes, no egos, fake shows like, whoa, just go and leave me alone. Real talk, real life, good luck, good night with a smile. That's my home. That's my home. Don't lose who you are in the blur of the stars. Seeing is deceiving, dreaming is believing. It's okay not to be okay. Sometimes it's hard to follow your heart, but tears don't mean you're losing, everybody's bruising. Just be true to who you are, who you are, who you are, who you are. Who you are, who you are. Who you are, who you are, who you are. Who you are, who you are.
That. Wow, tears don't mean you're losing. Everyone's bruising. God, I love that. You know, we've been experiencing some grief, and everybody does. We don't get out of this life without it, and I know you know that more than most your age, I think. Thank you. That was beautiful. Love it. Love it. Yeah. Emily Frost. Ha. Yeah. Yeah, let's give her another hand. It's so great. I love both those songs. So as I said, all month long we're talking about cultivating authenticity, and we can't be on a journey of authenticity without knowing who we are, right? I mean, that's like the first step. Because there's all those other things about getting over your fear and you know, ways that you step out, but you gotta first know who you are. And it seems logical and simple, but it's not, is it? It's not. And it's a lifelong journey, I believe. It has been for me. Authenticity, I think, is something that at an early age I really gravitated to. I told you a few weeks ago that one of the things that I was really stuck on as a young girl and into my high school years and even college years was seeing hypocrisy, you know? And so that's kind of the flip side, isn't it, of authenticity? And so it was always a big thing for me, even if, you know, I'm looking at my girlfriend from high school there, even if I was buying my clothes at Goodwill so I didn't look like everybody else. That was always kind of a thing for me. I made a lot of my clothes, even in high school, not because I had to, but because I wanted to, you know, so I could be unique. So in his book, this is a fabulous book, Mike Robbins, Be Yourself, because everyone else is taken. He says we need to be deliberate about it. As we grow, as we evolve, we need to be deliberate about our authenticity. And you know, when I read that, it reminded me of Ernest Holmes. How many times do we read in the textbook to the degree. Like, you will live a full life. You will experience everything you want. You will express spirit to the degree that you understand that, to the degree that you practice it, to the degree that you embody it. You have to be deliberate. You have to be deliberate. You have to be conscious, right, about it. And where do we start with that? What did Reverend Karen always say? You got to start with willingness. Like, if it's something you're bumping up against and you really don't want to do it, there's a big piece of you that's saying, no, I'm hanging on to the way it's always been. At least can you open up in your prayer work to have the willingness? Bobby and I say, I'm going to commence to begin to start to, yeah. I have a family member who told me one time adamantly that she doesn't want to know herself. Like, I really wear my family out. I know, you find that impossible to believe. Yeah, you do. We have that in common. I wear my family out because I want to have a real conversation about something that's meaningful, not about the soap opera they're watching or the football player that they're into or... Right. Know thyself. It's foundational to living an authentic life. So, Mike Robbins says, there's a difference, though, between knowing about yourself and actually being fully aware of yourself. There's that word, aware. Awareness, which we work on. Julie, if you're watching, right? Aware. This is what we work on. So I'm going to ask you, who are you? Just think about it. Who are you? If I asked you to turn to somebody next to you and tell them who you are, what would you do? What would you say? I'm not going to ask you to do it. Bobby hates when I do that. What would you say? Would you say, I'm Theresa Fieberts. I'm the minister here. Would you say, this used to be me. I'm Carly's mom. That was Reverend David Owen Ritz. He literally called me Carly's mom in an annual meeting one year because he couldn't think of my name, even though I was a practitioner. Carly's mom. Yeah, I asked my daughter yesterday, I was walking and talking to her on the phone, and I said, if I asked you, who are you, what would you say? She's like, I said, would you say you're Cora's mom, you're Ian's wife, you're my daughter? She goes, oh God, no, I wouldn't say any of that. I'm like, yes! Yes, I taught you well. Yes, I taught you well. Yeah. Who are you? Here's who you are. Exactly what Jim read. Exactly what Jim read. There's one creative power, and it's reflected in its creation. That is you. That is me, right? And what do? We then reflect it in our lives, right? We reflect it back in our lives. We discover those characteristics that are divine and that are uniquely ours, creativity, intelligence. And then we're empowered as we learn those, we're empowered to use them in our lives, right? In a satisfactory way, which is going to be different to each one of us in a unique way, right? You may travel a lot. You may love to garden. But there's a way that we make things with your hands. There's a way that we each uniquely express ourselves. Mine's kind of with words, I talk a lot, like Anne of Green Gables. We give personality to that one, like Jim talked about. And when we do that, that's creating a reciprocal reciprocal relationships, right? It's like Spirit gives us and we take and we repurpose. It's like recycling, Yeah, we repurpose it in a way that's meaningful to us, not necessarily to the person next to you. So God creates all life and remains in its creation, but it's not absorbed by its creation. It could never be diminished by its creation. You make a mistake, so what? You move on, right? You didn't hurt that infinite, eternal, creative, intelligent, loving, unconditioned being that's moving through you. You simply forgot for a minute, right? Yeah. Except for we can deny it, we can hide it, we can thwart it, we can pretend it's not part of our lives. We can block its activity in our lives. And we do that a lot, unfortunately. We can spend a lifetime being unaware of who and what we are. That's why we come here, to remind each other, oh, I see you. I see you. I know who you are, right? The greatest loss to humanity would be that you don't know who you are and don't live your life. Emerson said that imitation is suicide. Think about that for a moment. You're not living your life. Imitation. And there's so many ways we're taught to do that, right? From a child, can't you be like your sister? Or can't you be, so-and-so in class always does their homework. I mean, there's just a million ways we're conditioned into that, right? So now, who are you? Who are you? Who are you? And where and how do you discover that for yourself? That's really what I want to talk about. This magazine's fabulous this month. Michael Gott does the daily reads in it. But Ernest Holmes' article in here, every month there's an article. This one's entitled, God Wants You to Be Yourself. It's really, really good. But in here, he's talking about this ancient fable that you've probably heard, where the gods decided to create humans and make them divine, but they wanted to hide that divinity in some place that it'd be difficult to discover. So they got together and decided, well, where were they going to hide our spark of divinity? Were they going to hide it in the air? No, because somehow they'll make a machine that can take them in the air. They'll find it there. You're going to hide it at the bottom of the sea? No. Should we hide it in the ground? No. They'll dig it up. They'll find it. After much discussion, they all agreed that the best place to hide human divinity, the place where we would least likely to look for it, would be deep within our own selves. Do you resemble that remark? A little bit? Yeah, deep within ourselves. They said, well, we will always be looking outside of ourselves. We will never think that the thing we're looking for we already have. And so they hid human divinity at the very center of our own being and left us alone to discover it. But always there was an urge within us, a feeling that there is something still uncovered, something that could make everything right if we knew how to find it and use it. Yeah, you feel that? So Mike Robbins, in his book, Be Yourself, he uses kind of modern day language with it. He talks about above the line and below the line. Above the line and below the line. Above the line is like our outward face, that persona, the way we show up. The way we show up in our family might be different than the way we show up at work or the way we show up here in spiritual community, but we have faces, right? We kind of have faces sometimes. Roles we play, which created habits for us, and they're hard to break. That's above the line. That's the outside stuff. Below the line is the inside stuff. Below the line is the thoughts and the feelings and the attitudes and the beliefs and the values that we have and the way we use our imagination. That's the inside stuff, right? Below the line, he calls it. And culture taught us to pay attention to the what? To the outer. Now, my kids grew up in this teaching. So my kids grew up being told to pay attention to their thoughts. My son would say, I didn't mean to. Well, you didn't mean not to. That's inside. That's inside, right? Yeah, inside. Because the inside is informing the outside. The inside is always what's back of the outside. We live life inside out, right? Yeah, yeah. So to cultivate authenticity, let me tell you what it's not. It's not being anything other than your true self, right? It's not, it's not all those outside things. The faces, the persona, as Jung called it, right? It's not that. So we spend a lifetime uncovering those false beliefs, the things that our parents told us, the things that our teachers told us, the things that old lovers told us, the things that we believed somehow about ourselves, you know? We pick them up. And they become barriers to our personality. The personality with the P, you know? With the capital P is what I meant. Like, that made no sense. Personality with a P. You're all thinking, what does she mean? The capital P, personality, right? So, you know, I say this often in many different ways. I really want this community to be a place, a playground where we can experience those things. You know, maybe we have always been shy to express ourselves, you know, and maybe we can do it here where we're not as so comfortable in the other places where we find ourselves, you know. Again, Mike Robbins, he says, the major part of our genuine success and fulfillment in life is created below the line, not above it. I want to read that part again. I think that's brilliant. The major part of our genuine success and fulfillment in life is the inside stuff. It's obvious after I read it, but the way he's saying it really hit me. Is your success the car, the house, the stuff? Or is it how you think about it? Is your success the new marriage? Or is it how you think about it? Is it the imagination you have for where it's going to take you? Right? It's the inside stuff is where our success is. And it may or may not show up on the outside. Right? If we're living with integrity, if we're aligned with the inside, then we see it on the outside. And it may not look like what our parents thought it would look like. This is not what they thought I would be doing. Because they're still praying for my soul. This isn't the right teaching to be in. This isn't the right philosophy. So below the line is what fuels that stuff on the outside. Again, in this magazine this month, one of my favorite columns, I think Bobby goes to it maybe first, even, the Science and Spirituality with Andrew Newberg and Mark Waldman, who were professors of mine. And I know Christine knows Newberg, right? Yeah, got to meet Newberg. So in this month, they're talking about body, mind, or spirit, 3 historical ways to maintain psychological health. And they get to the bullet point in the back that says, This is the most recent network neuroscience findings. Being in the present moment, non-judgmentally aware of your feelings and thoughts stimulates the salience network, thus creating an optimal balance between your thinking and your executive functioning, and your imagination and the default network. They now define awareness, that's John Kabat-Zinn's definition right there of mindfulness, being aware in the present moment, non-judgmentally. Yeah, you know that, right? They're saying now that that's the definition of optimal psychological health. Isn't that brilliant? Isn't that great? So we practice our meditation, right? They go on to say any form of contemplative self-reflection is the ideal balance of body, mind, and spirit. Yeah. So those are the tools we teach. It's what we talk about. It's what our classes are about. It's the tools we teach, right? Meditation, mindfulness, awareness, paying attention on purpose in the present moment, non-judgmentally. That's what it is, to be aware of what's going on inside of me all the time. Below the line, right? And what's another way we do that? Journaling. Jim hated journaling. Still do. Years of classwork I did with him. He never wanted to journal. I finally had to say, well, do it, type it. I don't know. Personally, I think there's something about doing this, but no, he wasn't going to do this. Journaling, automatic writing, some way of writing as you're thinking and letting it flow from you. Prayer, which is another word for spiritual mind treatment, spiritual mind treatment is treating your mind to a new thought, right? That's what prayer is. Emerson said, looking at life from the highest vantage point. That's what prayer is, okay? So, not asking, but treating your mind to a higher or the very highest idea. And affirming then that you already have that which you are seeking. You already are that magnificent expression of spirit, right? Below the line. So, a combination of all three of those is visioning, and I talk about it all the time. Visioning is a combination. Asking questions and listening. Put yourself into that meditative state and ask. Lean in. Open up. Listen to what you hear. And then pray about it. Treat for it. Know that you can indeed do that. I got to tell you, Bobby and I, we vision all the time. This week, let me tell you what came up for both of us in the what do I need to embrace section. Science mind principles. We have both been in this teaching for over 3 decades now. And what did we get? Both of us, in the silence, inward, below the line, both of us got practice this teaching. So all the negative thoughts that come to me, how many times recently have I been saying, I am so tired, I am so busy. Stop it. Stop it. Right? Stop it. Change that language. All right, so this is what we teach. And again, Mike Robbins in his book, he says we need to do personal inquiry. We need to ask these questions over and over and over again. Here's some of the questions that he had. What's most important to you? What are you grateful for? What are your core values? What motivates you? I love that one. What motivates you? What worries you? What upsets you? What brings you joy? What are your priorities? All right, we're going to do it. I want you to close your eyes. Close your eyes if you're comfortable, or gaze down, A couple feet before you, let your eyes soften. Don't look at me. And what I know is each one of us are filled with this divine intelligence. That we are indeed all the time present in spirit. That all the time, indeed, spirit is moving in, as, and through us. And at this moment, we release anything that blocks that flow. Bringing ourselves completely, fully present. I use my words in first person. Take them as your own. As I know that I am absolutely immersed in, surrounded by, filled with the one power and presence, source and substance of my life. I know it is creative. I know it is intelligent. And I know it is unconditioned by anything that has happened in my life. It is completely and totally unconditionally loving and supportive. And I open my mind now to its greater knowing, to its highest possibilities for my life when I ask, what is Spirit's highest idea of itself expressed as my life? What is Spirit's highest idea of itself expressed as my life? And I listen. I lean in further and I say, what does this look like? For me, what does this look like? Spirit's life being expressed uniquely as my life. What does it look like? Knowing that this vision already exists in the mind of God, I tap in, I lean in even deeper to feel it. What does it feel like? What does Spirit's idea of my life feel like? I listen. I tap in to sounds, feelings, visions, the pull, the urge. Making myself available to Spirit's presence. For this highest idea of my life. And now I ask, how do I get in the way? What do I need to let go of? What old habit no longer serves me? What do I need to change? And then what then do I need to embrace? What do I need to embrace in order for Spirit's vision of my life to unfold in grace and ease? Authentically. Specifically, what gifts and talents am I here to express in this life? What do I already possess that wants to be free, unleashed? what is so uniquely mine that not only the world is blessed as I give it, but I am blessed. What is it? What else do I need to know? What else do I need to know right here, right now? What I know is Spirit is always trying to get my attention. And so I commit right here and right now to giving that attention. To daily making myself available to hear Spirit's voice, feel it within. Tune in, turn on to that urge within me that is uniquely Spirit as me. I affirm this for myself and I affirm this for each one of us because it is with ease and grace that the divine expresses itself in, as, and through each one of us, creating a world that works for everyone because everyone has woken up to who we are here to be and what gifts we have to give. May I and each one of us here be so completely filled in this moment that we do not forget. No longer do I live paying attention above the line, but live from below the line and allow Spirit within me to inform what happens around me. I am so grateful to see the blessings of this lesson, to live from the inside out. I live from the inside out. I know this for each one of us, and I am grateful for all the gifts, all the benefits, all the glory, all the good that outpictures from this moment right here, right now. It is a powerful moment. It's a transformative moment, and I say yes to it. Join me in saying, and so it is. So it is. Amen. Oh, yeah. That's some good stuff, people. All right. That's all I have. There you go, Emily. Thank you.
This has been my favorite song to sing at gigs. If anyone knows the Bee Gees, do we know the Bee Gees? Okay. But it's More Than a Woman, and it's like, girl, I know the favorite, but I brought it down because that's one time I sang it at a gig that high, and it was really funny. But I bring it down a little bit. But when I sing it at my gigs, I've been singing it to myself, like how much I love myself, like I'm more than a woman to me. Yeah, so I thought that'd be good for today. Girl, I've known you very well. I've seen you growing every day. I never really looked before, but now you take my breath away. Suddenly you're in my life, part of everything I do. You got me working day and night, just trying to keep a hold of you. Here in my arms I found my paradise, my only chance for happiness. And if I lose you now, I know I would die. Oh, say you'll always be my baby. We could make it shy, we could take forever, just a minute at a time. More than a woman, more than a woman. Thank you.
You know, you probably, with some of your friends, you know, we debate like the music we listened to in the 60s, or some of us even the 50s. Is anybody going to be listening to that later? And we're listening to it how many years later? 60-some probably? Almost? Yeah, yeah. So I have two things to talk about today. One is the usual, and we'll talk about that later. The other one is that we have a special event coming, April 23rd. It's a combination of Reverend Theresa's ordination celebration and the Shine celebration that we're going to have afterwards. And there's an opportunity to express ourselves through giving to be sponsors of that event. So you can talk to myself. I'm going to put Hector on the line here, so that if you can't catch me, you can catch him. Jennifer Johnson's not here, but she would be the other one. But we set up giving levels from $100 to $5,000, and we'll take anything more than that. But anyway, the idea is to sponsor the event so that all the costs are covered before the event happens, and that we have just a very good time. So that's the first thing. And this is I learned this morning that I didn't know before. When I passed my ordination panel back in 2009, I think it was, they just said, okay, now you can go have your ordination ceremony. So I was approved for ordination, but I wasn't truly ordained. And my ordination minister kept saying, when are you going to have your ceremony? When are you going to have your ceremony? I said, well, you know, I don't really need to have a ceremony, blah, blah, blah. She says, you're not ordained, you're not ordained until you have that. And I thought, oh, I better do that. So I did. It was almost 2 years later. And Reverend Theresa's kind of doing 2 years later as well. But what I learned this morning that I didn't know before was that she did a lot of what was in the ceremony that I did at the time that she passed her panel and so on and so forth. So this is really an opportunity for all of us to join with her to celebrate this ordination, this lifetime commitment to ministry and so forth. So I had that, and I want to share that here as well as with you. So it's a different aspect of this process. So our organization has been changing as the organizations merge. You know, so we have merger of two churches here. You know, Religious Science International and what was UCRS, United Church of Religious Science, merged back in 2012 officially. You know, cultures merging and all that kind of stuff, and we're still learning about things. So anyway, and then authenticity. You know, I get up and I talk about circulation and flow and money every week. At least every week I'm here. I missed you all. I was gone for a couple of weeks here. And then I write the column in the magazine 3 times a year. And I've been teaching this stuff for a long time. And I was realizing about this above the line and below the line. And probably if I could go back, there's 2 things that would happen. Back when I was about 12, I wanted to be an orchestra conductor. So I probably should have had a whole different path than going to pre-med and not going to medical school. That's a whole nother. But I love to talk about giving. And I love to be in a giving place because it's such an expression of flow and support and movement and ways that we affirm that the universe is giving through us all the time. As Reverend Theresa was talking about it, you know, it comes in and we give it back out. It comes in and we give it back out. And the more we're able to take in, the more we're able to give out. So we support this ministry here, this growing ministry, this flowing ministry with our own flow. So when you practice the flow, we're putting it into a bigger and bigger dynamic. So there's all sorts of ways. It's probably streaming across a screen. If you're at home watching, you know, you can give electronically, you can give physically here with cash, check, money order, whatever you got, or you can do it electronically like I do, so that when I was away for 4 Sundays, I didn't have to worry about it. I knew that that check was going to show up in the mailbox, and Reverend Theresa and Dan could get it into the bank, and it was all taken care of. Back when I was at Agape, we had something called auto tithe. And we got the auto tithe program when I left was generating $110,000 a month. It was a $7 million budget at the time, so it was a little different than what we do here. But that was in addition to about $50,000 every Sunday. So it was like this thing that happened, but people got it. We used to do plastic things. We called them auto tithe dollars, so that they could put something in the basket and demonstrate that they were not only giving, but they were really committed to giving. So it was a lot of fun. Anyway, we have that opportunity. You can do it whichever way you choose, whatever way makes you feel the best about your giving. Just knowing that we're supporting this powerful ministry. So we just take a moment and know that there is that infinite flow. We move in it, we flow in it, it flows through us as big as we allow it to flow through us. As Ernest Holmes says, the Spirit can only do for us what we allow the Spirit to do through us. And so I know each giver is blessed, each gift is blessed. I know that we are building powerful ministry together as the Center for Spiritual Living Cultural Coast. God bless you, and so it is.
Oh, and so it is. Thank you, Rev G.
I'll sing with Bobby.
Oh, sing. Everybody, let's sing together. I receive the gift of life and pass it on. I receive the gift of love and pass it on. I receive the gift of joy and pass it on. I receive all good and pass it on. I receive the gift of life and pass it on. I receive the gift of love and pass it on. I receive the gift of joy and pass it on. I receive all good and pass it on.
I have just a few quick announcements. First, I want to thank Gina for being here with us last week. Her message was beautiful, and Daniel for the workshop. So Gina Alicea and Daniel Epstein, that workshop was brilliant. It was just brilliant, and he gifted his time to us, and so we raised $225, which was really wonderful, but it was a magnificent experience. Next, we have a lot of events coming up, so I just want to bring your attention quickly. We have flyers on the table over there for the Sunday, the 26th. It's next Sunday at 4 p.m. out at the Sacred Garden. This is a fundraiser for the garden, and Annie Cedarberg, many of you know, she's a naturalist. She's going to be doing stories around the miraculous experiences in nature that she has had and that we have, that people have. And Emily is going to be there doing music, and Diana and Frankie are going to be there doing music. So we're real excited about that. So that is next Sunday. You can get a flyer on the table. Then the Saturday after that, April 1st, April Fool's Day, is a house concert with Melissa and Z at Camille's house. Camille is a great host. It's a perfect house for a house concert. We've had several there. And Melissa and Z are fabulous. Melissa Felipe is probably one of my favorite New Thought artists, always has been. That song that we do, Infinite Possibilities, that's hers. And she got an honorary doctorate from Centers for Spiritual Living for her contribution. She got 9 CDs of New Thought music. And then she married Z, and Z is a spoken word artist. So they combine, and they're both ministers, and it's just really fantastic. It's going to be a great evening. So grab a flyer for that. And then the very next day, our musicians from that morning had to cancel, so Melissa and Z are going to do chanting as spiritual practice. So that'll be the first Sunday next month. And then that afternoon, we've got Satya Winkleman giving us a workshop on improv, comedy improv. Satya's been doing this for 30 years. She is really experienced. This is going to be a lot of fun, a lot of fun. So next Sunday and then the following weekend, plan on Saturday and Sunday because we got some fun going on. Emily, what did you get? So open it up. Come on up here and you can do your last song, but what open it up though. Uh-huh. Because you haven't seen this, I don't think. Look at that. It's a leather-bound Science of Mind textbook.
That's cool, guys.
Gold leaf. Yeah. You're welcome. We love you. What new married couple doesn't need the Science of Mind textbook,
But
right?
I didn't even know what this, I've never had this before, so I didn't know there were different versions or anything.
Yeah.
So thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You have something to close us out?
Oh, sure, yeah. I can do that.
Something fun, something get us moving?
Get us.
What do you got?
Yeah, we could do like listen to music or something.
Something. Thanks for being with us, y'all. At home, too. Thank you.
All I wanna do is have a little fun before I die, said the man next to me out of nowhere. It's apropos of nothing. He says his name is William, but I'm sure it's Bill or Billy or Mac or Buddy. And he's plain ugly to me. And I wondered if he's ever had a day of fun in his whole life. We are drinking beer at noon on a Tuesday in a bar that faces a giant car wash. And the good people of the world, they're washing their cars on a lunch break, hosing and scrubbing as best they can in skirts and suits. They drive up in their shiny Datsuns and Buicks, back to the phone company and record store too. They're nothing like Billy and me, 'cause all I wanna do is have some fun. I got a feeling I'm not the only one. All I wanna do is have some fun. I got a feeling the party's just begun. All I wanna do is have some fun until the sun comes up over Santa Monica Boulevard. I like a good beer buzz early in the morning, and Billy likes to peel the labels from his bottles of Bud. He shreds them on the bar, then he lights every match in an oversized pack, letting each one burn down to his thick fingers before blowing and curse them out. And he's watching the bottles of Bud as they spin on the floor. A happy couple enters the bar, dangerously close